The Galactic Council chamber had never witnessed such stunned silence. Admiral Zephyrus of the Altarian fleet, her crystalline exoskeleton reflecting the chamber's bioluminescent walls, stood frozen at the central podium. The holographic display before her showed readings that defied every known law of physics and military doctrine the galaxy had established over 3 millennia. "Run the scans again," she commanded, her voice barely above a whisper. Commander Vexhai, a hulking Corvan with 4 arms and skin like polished obsidian, manipulated the controls with trembling fingers. "The results are identical, Admiral. The vessel. It doesn't match any known classification in our databases." The ship in question hung in space like a predator among prey, while the Council's finest vessels resembled elegant works of art, flowing curves, gleaming surfaces, and harmonious proportions. This newcomer was a study in brutal efficiency. Angular, scarred, and bristling with weaponry that seemed to have been welded on as afterthoughts, it looked less like a starship and more like a fortress that had learned to fly. "Its energy signature is wrong," whispered Dr. Nilith, the Etherean physicist whose people had mastered quantum mechanics before most species had discovered fire. Her translucent form flickered with anxiety. "The power output suggests a reactor core the size of a small moon, yet the ship is barely 2 kilometers long." Ambassador Threnok of the Pacifist Coalition cleared his throat, the sound like wind through ancient trees. "Perhaps we should attempt communication before making assumptions. The galaxy has seen enough conflict." Admiral Zephyrus nodded slowly. The Coalition had brokered peace for over 8 centuries, turning the galaxy into a utopia of cooperation and shared knowledge. War was a relic of the past, studied only by historians and archaeologists. "Unknown vessel," she transmitted on all frequencies. "This is Admiral Zephyrus of the Galactic Council. Please identify yourself and state your intentions." The response came immediately, delivered in a voice that was distinctly organic, yet carried an edge of barely controlled violence. "This is Captain Sarah Chen of the UES Retribution, representing the United Earth Systems. We're here to talk, but we're ready for whatever comes next." The chamber erupted in confused murmurs. Earth? No record existed of such a world in their databases. Yet here was a vessel that outgunned their most advanced dreadnoughts. "Captain Chen," Admiral Zephyrus replied carefully, "we welcome peaceful contact with new species. Would you be willing to dock with our station for formal first contact protocols?" A pause, then almost with amusement, "Negative, Admiral. We'll handle this in space. Fair warning, we've got friends watching." On cue, space around the station began to shimmer. One by one, massive human warships decloaked, their stealth systems unlike anything the Council had encountered. 20 vessels, each radiating the same impossible energy signatures, formed a loose perimeter around the diplomatic station. Dr. Nilith's form flickered rapidly, a sign of extreme distress among her people. "Admiral, their weapons. They're not energy-based. I'm detecting kinetic projectile systems, nuclear warheads, and something that reads as antimatter containment." "Antimatter?" Commander Vexhai's 4 arms moved independently as he verified the readings. "But that's theoretical at best. The energy requirements for stable containment alone are apparently not theoretical to them," Admiral Zephyrus interrupted. She had commanded fleets for 2 centuries, but this contact was unlike anything in her experience. The Council's weapons were precise, elegant, designed to disable rather than destroy. These human ships looked like they were built for one purpose: total annihilation. Captain Chen's voice crackled through the comm again. "We know you're scanning us, Admiral. Here's what you need to understand. We didn't come looking for trouble, but we brought it anyway. See, where we come from, peace isn't something you're given. It's something you take and hold on to with both hands and all the firepower you can muster." Ambassador Threnok stepped forward, his ancient wisdom evident in his careful words. "Captain Chen, we have maintained galactic peace for 800 years through diplomacy and mutual understanding. Surely," Chen's laugh cut him off, sharp and humorless. 800 years? That's cute. We've been fighting each other for 10,000 years, and the galaxy for the last 300. You want to know why you've never heard of Earth? Because we were too busy surviving to send Christmas cards." The implications hit Admiral Zephyrus like a physical blow. A species that had spent millennia in constant warfare, developing weapons and tactics while the rest of the galaxy focused on art and philosophy. What do you want from us?" Same thing everyone wants, Chen replied, her tone softening slightly. A place to belong. Trade partners. Maybe some of that famous galactic peace we keep hearing about. But here's the thing, we don't ask for peace. We negotiate from a position of strength. Dr. Nyleth's readings spiked again. Admiral, I'm detecting more vessels approaching from multiple vectors. The humans. How many ships do they have? Chen's voice carried a note of pride. Enough. See, Admiral, your people learned to cooperate. That's beautiful, really. But humans, we learned to fight. Every time we got knocked down, we got back up harder, meaner, and with bigger guns. You've got a nice, peaceful galaxy here. We'd like to keep it that way. The unspoken threat hung in the void between the fleets. The Galactic Council, for all their advanced technology and centuries of peace, had grown soft. Their weapons were ceremonial, their fleets exploratory. But these humans, they were warriors born from a crucible of endless conflict. Admiral Zephyrus found herself in uncharted territory. How do you negotiate with a species that views peace as a temporary ceasefire between wars? What are your terms? She asked finally. Simple, Chen replied. We want a seat at your council. We want trade rights. And we want everyone to understand that while we're talking, we're also watching. Peace through superior firepower isn't pretty, but it works. As if to emphasize the point, the human fleet's weapon systems powered up simultaneously, their energy signatures blazing like newborn stars against the cosmic darkness. The galaxy would never be the same. In the end, the Council voted unanimously to grant humanity membership, not out of respect for their culture or admiration for their achievements, but from a simple, primal understanding that had been forgotten in 8 centuries of peace. Sometimes, the strongest argument for diplomacy is the credible threat of its alternative.